Well, hello, everybody. It's great to have you with us. I am George the Antique Nomad, and thank you very much for coming for our second attempt at a live sale this week. We have storms, and they are coming through from the south of us. I hope everyone to the south of us is okay. I see that somebody is saying greetings from sunny Boynton Beach, and boy, that sounds nice because we have a big old storm coming in here. I am very happy to see all of you, though. We tried the other day to have our sale when we had it scheduled at first, and we had all sorts of technical difficulties. We were trying a wireless mic. We were trying to bring it at a higher resolution, and it just was too much for it to all handle. So hopefully tonight will be smooth and easy. I'm just really glad to see all of you. Some of you folks are very familiar to me in the chat, and some of you are people I haven't seen before. I know one person said, please explain how the bidding works. And when we get to that part of the program, I promise I will. I wanted to, first of all, say hello to everybody because I haven't been on the live channel and been able to really speak back and forth. And boy, we've got a lot of great people here. Carolina Princess with Sweet Treats and Pretties. We've got Fatbirds here. I'm going to be at Fatbirds on Friday night. We're going to do flipping and sipping together. So that's going to be really fun. And I have a little preview. Laura said that since Mary Beth's not there, that I could bring some things to sell, and everyone wants us to sell all of Mary Beth's swung vases, and Mary Beth doesn't think that's a very good idea. So I'm going to bring this. I'm putting it aside. We're going to have this on Friday night, so you all come and see us. That is a nice Italian vase, by the way. That one, I believe, is genuinely Murano. Gosh, Alicia is here. Oodalali is here. I saw Linny Pie here. And Lorid55, you're welcome. I promise I'll tell you exactly how the bidding works. Blue Flamingo Mercantile is here. Cindy Taylor. I see Xenomorph is lurking. Thank you. He's been helping a lot trying to get this fixed. Deb Lepley is here, Nat Remagepedia. I know I missed some other folks because a whole bunch of you came in right away. Beth, I saw you were here. So thank you all very much. And also, welcome to all of the new subscribers. I've had a really big burst in new subscribers lately, and I'm really glad to have more people joining this great vintage community and being interested in the stuff and where it came from and what we have to talk about it and wanting to learn more. And it's just so much fun. I wanted to say, oh, Gigi's here. That's great. Nice to see you, Gigi. I am just really excited to be here again. I've been really busy. Jeanette Nance from Springfield, Ohio. I will be in Springfield doing the spring extravaganza in May, and that I believe is May 23rd. It's the weekend before Memorial Weekend, and I will be in space 301. And I'm so glad because 301 is one of the few space numbers that's actually on the map, so you folks will be able to find me this time. I think Mary Rinks is here. Cindy Cockerham from the top of Texas. Very good. I am glad to see, I think I saw Pamela Commons in here, and I think I saw some other Alabamans in here, and I'm glad that this wind, we've had heavy wind all day here too. I'm glad it didn't get you too hard. I wanted to talk real briefly about some, oh, and Willie Joe, yes, you're getting the rain already. I suspect by the time this broadcast is over, we'll be getting the rain as well. Debbie from Chicago, here from the Windy City. Well, it's a little windier to the south of you today. You know, Chicago is called the Windy City because of the politicians back in the early days. It wasn't actually because of the wind. I am not making that up. Let's see here. So I wanted to talk briefly. I just ended my Florida show season, so I'm actually in a position to do some more live stuff with you folks. It was a wonderful season. It was a very busy season. Several shows, 2 estate sales. The Mount Dora show was the busiest show I've ever had in all the years I've been doing shows in Florida. And it was just so much fun. Met a lot of great new viewers. A couple of folks had me sell some stuff for them, and I'm very grateful for that because they have interesting things that are fun to show to the rest of you folks. I then let's see. At the end of February, I went to Pennsylvania, and Jocelyn of Crazy Lamp Lady and Dagny of Flying Pig Thrifts were so generous to invite me to come and do appraisals at their meet and greet. The meet and greet was at the antique marketplace of Lemoyne, and we ended up with 500 people coming. We were talking to people almost all day long, barely got to shop. The mall had the busiest day it's ever had, and the people were so wonderful and nice. And thank you to the people who brought gifts. It was just really a really fun time. Randomly beautiful collectibles. Thank you very much for coming and stopping in. So we had a great time up there. I got to shop with Jocelyn and Drew. They bought some amazing stuff. There's videos on both our channels about that. Then I was on Nurse Flipper as a co-host. I'm going to be with Nurse Flipper in a couple of weeks in Florida at her first camp. She's doing an eBay camp. That one is sold out. I guess she's got one in Tennessee as well. I won't be able to speak at that one, but I believe Danny the Niche Lady and someone else is coming. So you'll have great speakers there too. And I'm looking forward to it because I'm going to be doing some more eBay and I need to learn a little bit more about keywording and some things to get people going. Um, I was on Primetime Treasure Hunter. He's a great guy and he's got the thrift battle going. I have made it to the round of 8, I believe it is. I was up for against Rachel Strickland. And Rachel was somebody I hadn't really met before. She's a YouTuber out of southeastern Missouri. And she introduced me to the concept of bolos, which are be on the lookout. So be on the lookout for things. And she had some really interesting things. One of the things she brought, which I ended up winning because I put up a $2,000 Masters tournament signed golf flag against it. But she brought out 2 Dawn liquid soap dispensers with little sort of automatic scrubbers on the end that she got at a thrift or an estate sale for $1, and they were worth $80. So it just goes to show there are bargains everywhere if you are fortunate enough and know what you're looking for. So that was great to meet her there. Shelby, yes, thank you. That was an excellent battle. We had a lot of fun. And Ms. Taken, I can't sell this shirt because my dear friend Janet, who is the now retired owner of Vintage Modern St. Pete, mall I'm in Florida, gave it to me as a gift. So I just don't think I can part with it. But if I see another one, I'll bring it out. Let's see what else is happening here. The storms are supposed to be in Alabama about 9. Okay, well, then I guess we'll get ours overnight. Nancy Smith, good to see you here. And let's see. Yes, Rachel really did bring the competition. I'm not surprised. She's a pretty smart gal. And one of the people in the previous round, if you saw that, I beat the niche lady with a toilet seat at the very end. And she and I have become friends since. And I was fortunate enough to be on her channel talking about appraisals about a week ago. Now, a bunch of you folks, maybe some of you who are watching now, ordered Treasure Craft pottery books from me. And we are actually going to give one away at the end of this broadcast. This is our giveaway tonight. This is the only one I have left in stock. I filled the orders I could. For the rest of you who haven't gotten yours yet, I promise they're on order. They should have been here yesterday. I am assured by the post office they're in transit and coming tomorrow, so we will get those out right away for you. We have had some real trouble with the post office in the Southeast, especially my poor Alabama customers. Things have been delayed really long. I could have driven things to them in the amount of time it's taken the post office to get them there. So Rediscovered Treasure, nice to see you here. I hope I will make it to the DC Big Flea. I would really like to do that show. I'd like to meet you, and Tim and Josie of Over the Years are near there, and I've got family in Delaware, so I have reasons to go, maybe the second half of the year. Let's see here. What else? Oh, okay, let's see. This last weekend, I was in Newburgh, Indiana, doing an appraisal fair, and I met some really great viewers there, including one who brought a really great Brazilian basket. And one of the reasons I like doing appraisal fairs is it really stretches my knowledge. I did not know about that piece before she brought it, and I was honest with her about that. But between what she was able to show me and what I was able to learn on the fly there, we figured out that it was worth several $100s, and the way that it was made was very interesting. You may have seen baskets that have there's like a little stick at the very bottom where they start the weave in the center and they weave around a stick and then expand out from there. And that was a hallmark of this particular basket from the Amazon rainforest done by the tribes there. And it had really fun circles on it. Really great with all the interest in baskets now to learn about one that was rather valuable that wasn't Native American, which is more the kind that I know about. So we had everything come from an old Buck Rogers 1930s death ray glass slide to, oh gosh, what else? Somebody brought a really amazing ice cream parlor sign that they found in the rafters of a building that was being renovated last year, and it had been there since 1905 approximately. And it was worth maybe a couple $1,000s. And the great thing was it was going to be saved and kept in that town. And so I just love doing appraisal fairs. Really neat stuff has comes along. So let's see here. What else? Oh yeah, we had a great Aldo Landi Vitosi jar. We just had some really fun things come to that appraisal fair, and there will be video to come. So keep watching on the main channel. And I didn't get to film the antique show that was associated with it because it was so busy. Again, I was busy from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., which were the hours of the show. So I didn't really get to do much. The only thing I got to buy, which I'm holding aside, is this Fenton piece. This is a nice custard glass piece with the painted scene, and it's got the paper label that they used before they had the impressed marks. And the reason I'm holding this aside, it's got a nice artist signature on it, but I'm holding it aside because I will be attending in July. Rosie's Auction House is having one of what I understand are 3 different Fenton conventions going on at the same time in Marietta, Ohio. And I'm really looking forward to going there. I've never been to Marietta. I've always wanted to tour the museum and see the glass. I'll be doing appraisals, and I'll also be doing a little bit of selling there. I think it's a hotel sale where we open up our room and people come and shop around, if I understand right. Or else there's a place in the lobby we set up. I'm not sure. But I'm really looking forward to that at the Lafayette Hotel at the end of July. Let's see. I got to see Trish out in Washington State and be on her live sale last weekend, the Sandy and Auto channel, and sold 8 or 10 things there. So those are in the mail. If you ordered, they're on their way. And the other thing, I've been really busy. Patrick. Patrick was Patrick at Trusty Huckster Mercantile. I was able to do a drop sale with him, and that actually was really well received. So we'll do that again. That's where you film a video and you have everything for sale in the video, and people watch the video and then can order just by leaving a comment. And that went really well and sold about 35 items that way. And it seemed really efficient, and people seemed to really like it. So we'll try that again too. I'm also hoping to do some more live sales on this channel. We'll get to the one tonight, I promise. And I hope to do those pretty quickly as well. So, and it looks like you folks have been really busy. Yes, I have been a selling machine lately, Teofane. It's funny, somebody else referred to me as a selling machine, and I thought, well, I hope I'm not turning into a machine, but I definitely love selling this stuff because then I get to go look for more and I get to bring more interesting things for you folks. And whether or not you're buyers, it's just great to have you here and have you watching and get to be in the chat and get to learn along with everybody. So thank you so much for all being here. I want to say, let's see, I told you I'm going to be at Nurse Flipper's camp in next month. And I'm going to be co-hosting with Fatbird Finds this Friday night, and that's 9 p.m. Eastern, I believe, if I remember right. I will be in Florida for, as well as the Nurse Flipper camp, I will be doing a couple of private appraisal fairs. I'm afraid they are sold out and not open to the public, but I will be down there in about a week doing those. And then shortly after that, the second to last week of April, the 23rd and 4th, I will be in Spokane, Washington at the Custer's Antique Show. And I'm really looking forward to bringing some things that have not been out west from other parts of the country. So I'm really excited about that. And thank you very much, Christy. Where in Florida? Well, I'll be in St. Petersburg doing I'll be doing, and I'm going to record this one for all of you folks. I'm going to be doing a presentation called What's Hot and What's Not. And it's for a group of, it's a retirement home, a very nice, rather expensive waterfront retirement tower in downtown St. Pete. And they have people who are moving in who need help trying to figure out what to keep, what to sell, and what they can expect. And so I go and talk to them about the antique market and what's going on in the antique market, which brings us to another thing that is important to talk about. I've had a lot of requests to talk about what's happening in the antique market, do some sort of a market report, be more available for actual live chatting where it's really about your questions and answers and a little more interactive. And so I have decided that I am going to, and it's actually just come out, I am introducing a third tier to the memberships that I offer. I do have memberships on the channel. I'm really grateful for those of you who are able to support that way because it helps me develop extra content for everybody. I have a $1.99 tier where I give you credit, and I also respond to member comments first. That's part of the deal because sometimes it's hard. I get backed up on comments. I love your comments. I love the expression of interest in the channel. It's just with everything else I'm doing, I can't always get to it right away. So I make sure I prioritize the members with that. I have a level 2 where a bonus video comes out once a month that the level 2 members sponsor, and that's where I put 20 items on eBay and they go live while the people watch. And those of you who are level 2 members, check the community tab because the bonus video is coming out very soon and there's information for you in there. And this new level is level 3. It's going to be $5.99 a month. And with each level, you get all the lower tiers benefits as well. At the $5.99 level, what I'm going to do, and I'm going to do the first one this Saturday at 9 p.m. Eastern. And what we're going to do is a market report, a live chat. I will talk a little bit about what I see happening in the market, both the broad antique and vintage market and the way the economy as a whole is affecting things, because things are sure changing right now. There's inflation, there's talk of this and that and the other, and it all affects things. But I also will talk about what's happening specifically with certain types of collectibles, what seems to be going on, and what I see, what's selling, what maybe is slowed down, what's speeding up, and also talk to you about your questions and just have an open forum. So if you are interested in that, please go to join, click join next to subscribe if you're on a computer. And if you're using any other device, go to the link in the description of any video and you can click memberships and find out more about that. I am looking forward to doing that and being able to converse more directly and get your thoughts as well. So I am really excited about that. And yes, that is on the main channel, not here on the live channel. I don't do any member stuff on the live channel, just on the main one. And level 3 is up now. It just was approved the other day. I had it up, and then when we had the problem with this video or with this live presentation a few days ago, we took it down because we didn't want to disappoint anyone until we had the bugs worked out of the live part. And now that we do, it's up. So level 3 is available at any time for you if you're interested. And you'll generally we'll be having those. I'm going to have the first one Saturday as an introduction, and then generally it will be the second Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern, and that will only vary if the calendar varies. So that's basically when it will be happening. So it'll be just right after my regular premieres. I have regular premieres that are free to all on every Monday and Wednesday, and you don't have to pay a dime. You just show up and you can join us, and you're welcome to join in the chat. If you do subscribe and click the bell to be notified, then you'll get notifications about those. So, so Pamela, basically level 3 will consist of the member chat and market report and Q&A session, which will be, we'll spend an hour every month doing that. And that'll be the program that'll be for those members. on the generally second Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern. And the membership will also include the benefits of the two other membership tiers as well. The first early access to the bonus video with the eBay items for sale, where I put a lot of my more premium or interesting things so that I can do a deeper dive and talk more about those. And then also the credits and the priority comment response that is part of level 1. So can you gift a membership? I'm sure that there's a way to do that. The thing is the person has to sign up as a member, but you could do it where they signed up and you used your credit card and it would just charge to you. I think that would be the easiest way to do that. Let's see. And speaking of vintage market reports, now, this won't always necessarily be a feature, but I thought that it might be fun. We'll probably do a little bit of vintage market report too, where we look back in some old thing like this 1930 Sears and Roebuck catalog and look at some of the really fun things that they had for sale back then and what they cost. Because things have changed quite a lot, but a lot of the things that we really love to collect, it's kind of fun to go back in time sometimes and see. For example, let's see if I can find something that we see all the time in the collector market here that is actually currently available. Well, this one, of course, I'm turning to bed springs and appliances and that sort of thing. But say, for example, that we're looking for a nice tin of, that's not going to work either. Shoot. Okay. Say we're looking for old baby stuff. Well, here's a great example of all the old baby stuff that Sears used to sell. So this will be a little bit of fun, and we'll have some fun with this. It'll develop as we go, and we'll have a good time. Speaking of developing as we go, and I promise we're getting close to the live haul and sale that I promised you, but I wanted to take a moment and acknowledge a few people who sent friend mail while I have a chance, because I haven't gotten to do this in a while. I wanted to show Elderly Poodle sent a Christmas card, and it's wonderful because look, it's an elderly poodle on an elderly card, and I got a big kick out of that. So that was a lot of fun. Also, Joanne Gibson, my friend in Florida, gave me a very nice item that she made of collage, and it's Christmas oriented, and she's got all this on the back. She's doing a lot of collage art. I thought that was really sweet. And I also got from Mary in Columbia, Maryland, and I want to thank you, Mary. You sent a rather unexpected group of items in a box, and there were some really neat things, including a very heavy golden Kuan Yin figure. Kuan Yin is a representation in Chinese culture, and this one is really heavy and stout and quite beautiful. It was really nice. This box came in the mail, and it came a while ago, and then it had to forward to me in Florida, so I haven't had an opportunity to thank you for this until now, but some really great stuff in there. I also really like this set. It has 4 of these little shot glasses, and it's got this nice bottle with these blown glass pairs, and this must be something for measuring alcohol or specific gravity related to the stuff that you're storing in here, because it looks like a thermometer, and I thought that was really interesting. And here's the little shot glass. There's a set of 4 that goes with that, so that was really kind. And let's see, she also in that sent 2 of these wonderful Aurifors votive candle holders. I've always liked these with the texturing, and they're signed both with the label and on the back with an acid mark. And so if you see these out in the wild, they are collectible and people do buy them. They look like little space capsules. I think they're really nice, and that was very sweet of her. And she also sent a piece. And this one I'm going to put aside and do a little research on him, because I know a bit about him, but I've never really featured him before. And that is Oleg Cassini made this votive candle holder with the little in-sized dots. And there's his signature on the bottom that you can see. So this is pretty neat. I was very pleased and I'm very grateful for that. And I'm seeing horrible things to get it going along because the winds are bad in Paducah and we don't want to not get on with the live haul and sale. So we're going to do the live haul and sale. And as long as the internet stays on and the connection to the computer stays on, we will have a great little sale and we will also do a giveaway. So let's get ready here. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to switch this off and turn on the rolling tape here so that this one is going to tell you if you end up being the high bidder on an item. These are the instructions. Please send your name, your mailing address, and if you want to pay by Venmo and Cash App, I take those now, and those are great because they're no fee, but PayPal is fine too. Just send the information to me at theantiquenomad@gmail.com, and we'll send you an invoice right away that includes the shipping. We're shipping from Kentucky, so we're pretty much central. Everything I have in the sale tonight are things that I have picked up in just the last couple of weeks. So this is a live haul and everything in the haul is for sale. I've been shopping and I've been doing a lot of thrifting. I don't usually do as much thrifting as I've been doing, but I did some filming around thrift and consignment stores. And on top of that, there really haven't been a lot of great auctions or things that have been available locally. So I thought this would be a fun way to share some really neat things at some pretty good prices. I think you'll have fun. The way the bidding goes, I don't do just in case. So bid what you're actually willing to pay. The idea of that, honestly, is that, you know, things will sell at reasonable prices that are fair to all sides. I will put the item up and I will tell you what the starting bid is right away. I'll tell you it's such and such an item and the starting bid is this, and you can start bidding right away if you see something you like. And then we'll talk about the item and talk about a little bit of what I see as interesting in it, what collectors like about it. And then when the bidding starts to wind down, and I try to keep things moving pretty fast, I'm going to say fair warning. Now there's about a 20-second lag, and fair warning means that you better get your last bid in because we all know the lag effect on the computer end, because then I'm going to wait a moment and I'm going to say going once, going twice, sold, and I'm going to put bid end in. I'm able to actually have the bid end appear on another monitor, so that'll give a little bit of a lag, so I'll see it the way that you do. And whoever is the high bidder when bid end appears on that other monitor is who the person is that will win, and I'll announce who that is, and then please contact me as you see in the ticker here. So Lisa, real quickly, I see you said you have a couple of things you need appraisal for. If you go to my website, there's several ways we can interact, and one is to hit the appraisal tab. And if you do that, you will find an instruction direction where you can submit an item for appraisal or a couple of items for appraisal. I don't charge a lot, and if the item isn't worth a lot, I don't charge anything. So it's pretty low risk to you. I've had several of you do it. I just caught up with everyone today. I've got one outstanding because there's some research we're still doing on that one. It is appraisal season because it's tax season. So I've got a lot of big appraisals that are going on right now, and I'd be happy to help anyone out there who needs it. If you bought before, I probably have your information, but please still contact me at theantiquenomad@gmail to acknowledge that you are the high bidder, because that's how I keep track of things to make sure that your items get sent, is through the email. So do send me an email. Even if you're my best friend and you live right next door, send me an email. Okay, so let's get started here. I think what we're going to start with a couple of things that are just fun and inexpensive, and they are two little tiles you can use as trivets or hang on a wall. One of them's got a hanger, and they are starting at $5 each. And these are them. The one with the pig is a saying that my father used to love to say, and he would really annoy my mother when she said, "I need you to say grace." And he would say this: "Good food, good meat, good Lord, let's eat." This was done in the late 70s or early 80s, and it's just cute as can be. It's $5 is the opening bid. And I just, you know, if no one takes it, I guess I'll keep it as a remembrance of him because that was his funny. And then the other one, and this is choice. You get one or the other for $5. If someone doesn't want both, then the next bidder will have the other one. And here is the other one. This is Blessings on Our Mortgaged Home. This one is by Wheeling Tile. It was done around 1960. This was the company that did the tiles for Disney as well. And so, yes, Carolina Princess, yes, my dad liked to say this at the table all the time too. So $5, your choice, either one. Starting bid is $5. If anyone is interested, go ahead and put that in. We have Lynn at $5 to start. Thank you very much. Wheeling tile, the one here is hand painted. The one with the pig is transferware, and there's a difference in that with ceramics. With transferware, it's a decal that they put under the glaze and then they seal over it. With the hand painting, they actually had someone in a factory hand painting that, and it was usually women actually. Women were often the ceramic painters in factories, and that's been true for over 100 years. Rookwood really got started with that. And I think that's really great. So it's either one or both at the high bid each. And we have a high bid of $10, Lynn Combell. It's nice to see you here, Lynn. And I see Rachel Hart's Kitsch also interested, so that's great. I'm going to go ahead and call fair warning on this. So it's choice, and the high bidder will get to tell us which one they want. If they want both, they get both. If not, the backup bidder will get their choice of the one that remains. So we are going once. We are going twice. And we are sold. We're going to put in bid end. We're going to try. There we go. And as soon as this comes up, okay, so Lynn, tell us which one you're interested in. Either or both at $10. It's your choice. And once you let us know, then we'll make the other available to Rachel if there's one left, and then we'll continue on. So let's see here. And thank you for the virtual hug. That's very sweet. And Lynn would like both. Okay, very good. Well, thank you, Lynn. I appreciate that. We'll put those aside. And I will just make a quick note. Lynn, see. Okay, very good. The next piece, I know a lot of you ladies like the jewelry, and I do too. And I think some of the fellows do too. I have a friend who actually he picks the most masculine piece of vintage costume jewelry he can, and he wears a piece every day. And this is the next item up. This one is, yes, thank you for directing from afar, and I will try to be careful about the table. We have a very nice microphone that works and won't cause the problems the other day, but it's very sensitive. So this is a ruby and gold tone pin in sort of a snowflake pattern. This was done around 1970, and it is starting at $10. So $10 is the opening bid on this, and I think the colors are just beautiful. And the gold tone is really nice. The gold tone is, it's a little more like an old gold. It's not a super shiny, brassy gold. It's actually something that's a little more understated. And Rachel is in at $10. This has a nice safety catch. It is not a sign piece, which surprises me in a way because it's really finished very well. It reminds me of a Florenza piece. And I suspect that it may be by somebody good, and we just don't know who. And Penny Keeling, welcome. Elsie Bray, I saw you were here. Welcome as well. And Elsie, I am so sorry. I'm realizing I have 2 New York Central plates sitting waiting for me to give you information. So I will get on that. Let me put this in front of my face so it'll focus. There we are. So Rachel at $10 is our high bidder. And I like the stones. They really remind me of Czechoslovakian glass. And it's a nice piece because it's flat. So if you actually are active, you know, some people when they're wearing brooches are doing things. And because of that, they need something that isn't going to catch on stuff. So this is nice that way. So $10 is our current high bid, and we're going to move on and call fair warning on this piece. So if anyone else is interested, this is your opportunity to bid on this piece. And we are going once. we are going twice, and we are sold, and we're going to put in bid end. And it looks to me like that is going to go to Rachel. Very good. I'm glad you got that. And if you'll please send your information per the instructions, we will get that out to you. So I will make a note. Rachel hearts kitsch. And I heart kitsch too, Rachel. I do understand that very much. The next piece up, this I was very excited to see because it is Tonala and it is Ken Edwards. So it's the real deal. It actually has the correct signature on the back and it is going to start at $12. So $12 is the opening bid. Ken Edwards was the fellow who went down there in the I think late 50s or early 60s, and he discovered all these really great Mexican ceramicists around the Tlaquepaque area. And he noticed that they were making this great stuff, but it had lead in the glaze, so people weren't buying it. So he taught them how to do the glazes without, and then he developed these various lines of hand painting. And there is you see Mex for Mexico and KE, and that's the only signature on this one. So this is probably an earlier piece, maybe around 1970. So Ken Edwards, that's how you can tell his signature is that KE. And currently we have Lynn and Cindy at $20. Now the first person to put the bid in is the winner in the case of a tie, just to let you know. This is all hand painted. I think the bird is very sweet. Linda McPhee is at $21 and is our current high bidder. Lynn at $25. I should give you a measurement on this. It's a nice side bowl. It measures 6 inches, so it'd be great for probably a cereal bowl is what this was intended for. And the nice thing is when you see the Ken Edwards mark on it, you know that it's safe to actually use for food. There is nothing that drives me crazier than seeing a piece that looks like something you can put food on, and you turn it over and it says not for use with food. And I think, well, what use is it then? Let's see, show it sideways. That's a good idea because we can see the way that they do the drip glaze, and it's deliberately uneven. They put the glaze on and then they let it run in the kiln. And that's part of the charm of these, is that there's a little bit of individuality to each one, even though they did certain patterns that, like the bluebird here, fairly regularly. The fact that they let some of the process happen by hand, in here too you see where the glazes run together and you just get some real variation. So it has the real feel of handmade ceramics, which they are, and I think they're really great. We are at $25 high bid right now, so I am seeing a few folks interested in this, but like I said, I like to move quickly, so I'm gonna say we've got Linda McPhee at 26, so, and Lynn at 30. So I'm going to call fair warning. Please do put in your final bid, and whatever you are willing to pay is what your bid should be. We don't do just in case here because I honestly want to run it more like a real world auction. I'm really about trying to bring the real world of antiques to the online world, and in the real world you don't get just in case. You have to make your bid, and that's the way that that goes. So we are going once, we are going twice, and we are going to sell this piece. I'm going to put in bid end, and we'll let it pop up here when it does. And it looks like Lynn is our high bidder at $30. So thank you. We'll put that aside with the other pieces. We do combine shipping, by the way, folks. So if you're concerned about that, I think most of what we have tonight, we have things that are compatible, and we can ship larger and smaller together in one box. So it won't cost you a fortune if you buy more than one item. The next thing I'd like to show here, which I think is very cute and I just thought would be really fun to show, I've got a couple of pieces by them tonight. These are Red Wing, and these are the Bob White pattern. And Bob White is named for Bob White birds. These are starting at $10 for the Red Wing salt and pepper shaker. And they have a few things that are very important about them. Well, first of all, they're cute. They're all hand painted. Red Wing made really neat stuff. They had a guy by the name of Taylor who had worked for other companies who came to work for them in the 1940s. And he designed all of these really great things for them. And yes, fat bird finds, I thought of you as soon as I saw them because they're fat little birds and I just think they're cute as can be. And they're all hand painted. These have the original rubber stoppers. In the 1960s, a lot of companies went to rubber stoppers because they held better than the cork, they didn't shrink, and they were better quality. So these are in good shape, no chips or cracks. We've got two folks at $10 now. So Linny Pie at Worth Dusting Collectibles is our current high bidder. And I like the fact that they are not exactly the same. One is pecking and one is sitting upright. And that's what birds do in the wild. They don't both sit there and look identical. All of this is hand painted. They would do the designs. They did an entire set of dinnerware in this pattern, actually. And it's a really nice set. They made a lot of really great pieces. It's a pattern that has sold well for me over the years. And I haven't had any in a long time because a lot of it has gone into collections. So when I saw these, I just thought that they were really neat. They're not marked Red Wing because these pieces were too small. Most of them do have the Red Wing mark on them. So we've got two folks at $10, and we are going to get close here to fair warning. So and yes, the plates in the pattern are adorable. And actually the cookie jar is really great. They did these really cool swoopy designs. It was actually very modernist, big pictures and all sorts of things. So it's a cute pattern, and maybe this will get you started. Or if you're just a salt and pepper fan, well, they're great there too. And the size, well, they're about 3 or 3.5 inches each. Actually, this one stands 4 inches tall. So Zoe Small is in at 12, and we are at, we've called fair warning, so we are going once. Please get your last bids in. We are going twice. Romola N is in there, but Zoe is our high bidder. And we are at bid end. I'm going to put it in here, and we will see with the lag. I know we've got folks interested, and we will see who ends up with it. Linda got in with a late bid, Susan did, but Romola N is our high bidder. She got $16 in there first. So I appreciate that very much, Romola. I know that you're someone who's new to me, so please definitely follow the instructions below and let me know how I can reach you with an invoice. And I will make a note of your name here. Okay, the next set I am going to show you, now this is kind of a big set. And so there'll be a little bit of a shipping cost, but I will tell you, I think it's well worth it because it's going to start really cheap. And it's a great set because it's got everything. But I wanted to show it to you in part because I'm going to teach you a word that a lot of appraisers use that I honestly had not heard until this week. And that is everted. So what we have here is a set that consists of, this is a 1930 vintage depression glass, and this consists of a pair of candle holders. This is a console set. And that was because they would put them on the sideboard, so you'd have a pair of candle holders, you'd have a centerpiece bowl, and you would have a flower frog so you could arrange your flowers. And this set has all of it. And this set is starting at $15. The term I used is everted. Inverted is when something is turned upside down. So if you have this shape and turn it upside down, that's inverted. Everted is where you take something and basically pull it out and roll it over from the middle. Like if you were opening a bag, for example, and you rolled the edges, that's everted. And so this is an everted set, and it consists of all of these pieces. And we have a couple of people bidding already. And the pieces include the 2 pink depression glass candle holders, the console bowl, and the flower frog. And I'm going to get you some measurements here. The console bowl is 11 inches wide. I've just always liked these that rolled over like this. It's just such a neat design, and you get a lot of color that way. So it's 11 inches wide. The flower frog, which sits inside of it, and a lot of people collect these separately. You see them separate a lot because people don't know what they were for, and they don't realize they went with these bowls. The flower frog is 3 inches wide. And this nice set of low candle holders, which I can now hold up together. I just can't hold all of this together at once. It's a lot of glass for one price. They have nice little, it looks like turnings here. They're molded, but I mean, it looks like a turn post on a piece of furniture. And the size of the candle holders is 3 inches. Now, I am not sure who the maker of this was. I do see some mold lines, so I don't think it's fully fire polished. The color of pink puts me in mind of Paden City out of West Virginia. The shape's not exactly a Cambridge shape, so Paden City is going to be my first guest. I just got these. Like I said, this is a live haul as well as a sale. You're seeing stuff that I've only had for a week or less that I just got. So I haven't had a chance to research some of these. I think they're really beautiful. I see we have a bid of $48 for the set. And now this is inverted when you turn it upside down, but the shape is everted because it's like you rolled it over and pulled it out of the center. And that was it is a great blush tone. It's a little peachy. It's not a real pinky pink. It's got just a little bit more depth to it, and I really like that about it. And it looks to me like we have, it is not etched. This has no etch at all. It's just plain. Some people like etches, and some people prefer things to just be the solid color. And I think this, because you have some design in this, and of course you're supposed to have flowers coming out, and that's how you would see it. So sometimes they even had figures they would set in these. And so I think that's why they didn't put a lot of decoration, because they figured that decorating with the candles and the flowers was the point. We have a high bid of $55, and I am going to call fair warning on this set. So please get in your last bids. It is all 4 pieces. They will be very carefully and lovingly packed for shipping. So it's the bowl and the flower frog, and we are going once. We are going twice, and the candle holders are here. And let me get this in. A lot of people prefer this color to pinky pink. It's really a matter of personal taste. And we have bid end, and we're going to see who ends up with this. And it looks like Rachel Hart's Kitsch. This is going to be for you. So it's a beautiful set. I'm really glad that you enjoyed it as much as I did. I literally got it yesterday. So it is fresh as can be. Everything in this sale is stuff that you haven't seen in all likelihood before. There might be 1 or 2 pieces that were in my most recent video, and that's about it. And bear with me just a moment here. Let's see. Our next choice, I think we'll do a little bit of jewelry for fun. And this is going to be a choice. So the high bidder will get to have 1 or both of these. And if they don't take both, then the backup bidder will have their choice of the one that's left. These are starting at $12 each. And so $12 is the starting bid. The one on, I think you're probably seeing it on your right because it's in my left hand here, has a little more of a dark cast to it. These are both 1970s vintage. If you notice, they're long and drapey. These were the things that women like to wear with sweaters or solid color clothing. So $12 is the initial opening bid on these. And the first one here, I'll show you up close a little bit better. It has some nice small rhinestones in black and some faux pearls to give it a little bit of pizzazz, and lots of nice hanging chains. So it's got some nice shimmy to it. If you're walking or moving, it's going to actually have a little bit of motion to it, which I think is fun. You can tell 1970s because it's got this round safety catch. I try to avoid the things that have these hook catches because those are newer. There's lots of nice jewelry that does, but it's not the era that I do. I'm looking for older stuff. So this is the first one. And again, $12 each is your choice if you are interested in either of these. And here is the other one. It also has a round catch, and it has also a lot of drapery and a lot of motion to it. So we do have a bid in at $12. That is our starting bid. And actually, we have 2 bids in. So currently, Rachel is our current high bidder. But here's the 2 pieces. I'm going to separate them where hopefully you can see them a little bit more clearly where they're not up against me. They're rather long. Let me measure for you because that was the style then. And I think they are really fun too. This one, now the way you measure jewelry in necklaces, it's 12 inches this way, but that makes it a 24-inch necklace because that's how things were done. And I can actually show you so you get a little bit. Now, hopefully someone who buys this will have a little bit more of a chest than I do because it will hang better, but here's how it would be. And it would actually hang right about like so. Willie Joe is at $15. And again, it's your choice. You get one or the other or both. And then here's the other one. This one has nice gold tone to it. They're fairly light. They were pretty smart about that in the 70s. They realized that if they made these out of really, really heavy metal, that they would be really uncomfortable to wear. So these are not heavy, heavy chains. They're actually pretty reasonable. And this one is 18 inches because it's 9 and 9. And that would, your chest is fine. Well, thank you very much. I have never been a muscle guy. Even with all this stuff I move around, you would think I'd have giant muscles by now, but it never happened. And this one lays about like this, so a little higher. And both are gold tone, yes. And I'll show you, there's a little difference in the way they're finished. This one is a bright gold tone, very shiny and fun with all of the little baubles at the end. Whereas this one with the jewels in it. Oh, and I should mention, I'm sorry, I'll get this a little closer so you can see there are also amber rhinestones in this one. So it would be nice. And I'm having fun making a big tangled mess of it. But here we go. This one is a little more deliberately darkened. They gave it a little bit of a patina when they made it. So you notice, there we are. You notice it's not as shiny a gold. It's a little more of a more muted gold tone. And there's the amber in it that you can see. So we are at $15, and I'm going to call fair warning. If anyone else is interested, speak now, or these are going to be sold. At least one of them will. The high bidder will get the first choice, and the backup bidder will get the second choice if the first bidder does not take both. So we are going once. We are going twice. And let me put it in here. We're going to hit bid end. And as soon as it comes up, and Romola is our high bidder at $17. So Romola, will you please tell us in the chat if you are interested in one or both of these, and you could refer to it as round and square. That's probably the easiest way. So this one is square and this one is round. Oh, interesting, Sherry. I'm so sorry to hear that. M.A. Hadley Pottery is finally going to close in Louisville after all these years. You know, the stuff they make is similar to Louisville stoneware, and I suspect Louisville stoneware might take some of the designs and keep making them, but I'll have to see if I can go to the factory while they're still open. They had a wonderful factory and some great seconds that you could get for less money. And Romola, if you'll tell us which one of these is for you, then we will see if there's one left for Susan, or actually Rachel. Rachel is the second high bidder because she got her bid in first. So both, please. Okay, very good. Well, both of these are for you, Romola. Thank you very much. I'll set them back here. And let me just make a note of that very quickly. 217, Romola. All right. Well, one of the appraisals that I had to punt on, that someone sent in, and she said, gosh, I've had other appraisers look at it and say the same thing, was a pair of Italian pottery cats. And we just cannot figure out, the mark on the bottom seems to be an importer's mark, and we cannot for the life of us figure out who the maker is. It's not Bitosi, it doesn't seem to be for Raymore. This one, however, fortunately does have the maker's mark, and this is made in Italy as well. Out of the bullpen. Oh, that's great. Yes, I suspect the Hadley pieces will go up. I actually just sold a deviled egg dish, and I think Hadley is really great and well made. So this is the Italian strawberry pot, and we are going to start this at $10, just $10, and I'll show you the other side. So $10 is the starting bid. This little handled jardiniere is 4.5 inches tall, and it is 7.5 inches from handle to handle. And so again, I think I said $12 is the, or did I say 10? Let's start it at 10. $10 is the opening bid. I think it's a really pretty piece. All of this is done by hand, and this one does have a very clear mark on it. It is the mark of J. Willifred, who was the importer who had this made in Italy. So instead of having the painted Italian mark, it says made in Italy exclusively for this company out of New York. And well, thank you. I try to keep my starting prices low because I do want everyone to have a chance. And I bought these items because I thought someone would find them interesting and want to have them, and I want them to have them. And if something turns out to be really popular, well, the market finds its way. So $10 is the starting price. It's got nice rope handles that are applied and are fired in with this tin glaze so that you get this nice shine to it. And Linda McPhee at $12 is our opening bid. I just think this is really nice. We've got spring coming. Strawberry season will be here before you know it. We just ended the Florida strawberry season, actually. And had I done a show in that area, I would have probably taken this there had I had it at the time. But Willie Joe at 14 is our current high bidder. And now Susan Jackson at 15. I just think this is really well done. It has the appearance, if you look on the inside, I believe this is hand thrown because you can see the concentric rings. Now, there was a time they started molding concentric rings in to make things look hand thrown, but this one has just enough unevenness, and the thing is you can see that ring on the outside of the piece too. So I believe this might actually have been a wheel thrown piece and hand painted. So a lot of hand detail went into this, and you think, well, that's awfully expensive, and nowadays it would be. But in the early 70s, Italy was going through a lot of difficulty. And the lira, which was their currency then before they went to the euro, devalued really sharply, really quickly. They had bad inflation. They were having a lot of trouble there. And because of that, suddenly their stuff was really inexpensive for us to buy. And that's where a lot of the Murano glass and a lot of these hand-painted pottery pieces, a lot of the Bitosi, that's why they came to this country, because it was suddenly something that people could get their hands on that had really nice quality, was all hand done, and didn't cost a lot. This does not have any chips or cracks. There's a little bit of a glaze skip here. I just want to point that out. That is not a chip. It is just the way that the glaze was applied because it was hand painted and they must have just missed a little spot. How tall is it, Susan? It is 4.5, actually 4.75 inches tall from the top to the foot. And yes, I think it's a really pretty piece. I was just really taken by it. All the hand painting on the leaves, and the hand painting on the leaves looks like something where they applied a color over a color. So they probably did that using a stamp and then hand painted all of the veins in. And they did the outlines of the strawberry and then painted. And, you know, they're not trying to paint within the lines. They're not trying to make this super literal looking. That's part of the fun of it. It's supposed to be fun and interesting. This is about the time that planters become standardized in size too. So if you go buy a plant like a strawberry from the store, you should be able to put it in this. This one doesn't have a drain hole. It wasn't made that way, and it's never been used that way. But it certainly could be. You just have to put a little gravel in the bottom so the thing can drain. And we are going to call fair warning Vintage Tiny Treasures at $18 as our current high bidder. So we are going once. We are going twice. And we are going to put in bid end. And it looks to me Like Scott King at the last minute. Scott, you are the new owner of the strawberry pot. You got that in there just in time. Sorry, Shelby. Scott would have beaten you anyway because he put in a little higher bid. Well, Scott, I think you got yourself a nice deal. Please do send your information to the address in the ticker there, and we'll get this sent out to you. And I'll make a note of that. Okay. Now, my next item here, this is just something really sweet. It's not something terribly expensive, but I think they're very cute, and we'll see if somebody out there agrees with me. These are a bunch of lovely little hair ribbons, and these are from the Gibson Girl era. And the reason that we know that is because on the back there is a little tag that says, ribbons from grandmother somebody's trunk, March of 1917. This little pack of ribbons is starting at $5. So $5 is the opening price. There's the note that says that it came from the trunk of grandmother and was from 1917. And I just think they're really cute. I figure that somebody who's a crafter might be able to use these, or someone who does collage. But these would have originally been the Gibson girls like to tie their hair with these little pieces. They would use them as bookmarks. That was in the age when people were starting to really value education and reading a lot. And I just think they're really cute. And Rachel is at $8 right now. And these are genuinely old. Some of these may be older than 1917. Some could go back to Victorian times and just be something that somebody had in the family in the sewing box. They seem to be like crepe and very thin material. I don't think there's anything silk in here. And there's one little pink one hiding in there that you can't really see. So I just think this is a very sweet little bundle of ribbon, and it's very evocative of a certain period in time. So I thought that would be really fun. And I see we have a high bid of $9, and that's Shelby. And like I said, we definitely move fairly fast in these sales. So I'm going to go ahead and call fair warning. If anyone else is interested in this or anyone wants to bid, this is your moment, because we are going once. We are going twice. This one's got a little bit of a color run, just so you know. And we are at bid end. We're going to put it in and see who comes up with this. And it looks like Shelby, and thank you so much. I believe you're new to me as a buyer also, so please do send your information to the place you see down on the ticker there. And I'll make a note of your name so I know to be expecting that. Shelby Rendell Alders, and that looks like a Scandinavian, I'm thinking maybe a Swedish form of alders. That seems familiar from some of the surnames in my ancestry. All right. Since we're on the subject of things that are true antiques, I think the next item that we'll put up will be another true antique. It's a nice little vase as well, and I will show it to you now. This one is a very sweet bud vase, and the funny thing is the design actually seems sort of modernist, but the designs on it are clearly older. This is starting at $10, so $10 is your opening bid, and I'll tell you a little about it while you contemplate. This one is just over 6 inches tall and about 5 inches wide. This is Satsuma from Japan, and it has moriage beading on it. So I'll hold it up close. All of the roses, all of the green paint, in fact, everything on this is all hand painted. Again, it's just amazing to me that somebody would do all this work. Then they would paint over with the gold scrolling, and the gold scrolling has little beads that set off of it. They actually are in relief. You can feel them when you run this down. It's not smooth because they would use enamel, and enamel has glass in it, and so they'd put these little dots of enamel paint on it, and then they'd fire it one more time so that the gold would adhere to the top. So that's why you have texture on these. It is from Satsuma in Japan. You can tell that by the type of the clay on the bottom. You cannot tell it by a mark because this is from about 1910, and we didn't really enforce getting people in other countries to put the country of origin on these things in a serious way until after the First World War. And then it would have said Nippon. So this is a pre-Nippon Nippon piece. It does not have any chips, cracks, or damage that I have noticed. I tried to look it over really well. I always try to represent things fairly. And I just think it's really sweet. I love the colors. It's very springy, and spring is here, or if it's not here, we saw bees here today and ladybugs, so we know it's here in Kentucky. If it hasn't made it up to you up north, well, maybe you can get a jump on it with this. And we have Susan Jackson at $25 as our current high bidder. I think it's a very sweet little piece. And I don't see a whole lot of early Satsuma like this. I tend to see later pieces in the mid-1900s that were done in Satsuma. And they're nice too, but they don't have this amount of hand detail usually, because hand painting is something that it's very expensive to do, and in later generations they just don't, not to this level. So Susan Jackson at $28 is our current high bidder, and I am going to call fair warning on this, so please do, if you have interest in this, go ahead and place your last bid, because we will be wrapping this one up very soon. I like to keep moving along, especially because, like I said, I just got this stuff, but I got a lot of stuff the last week or two. So we are going once, we are going twice, and we are at bid end. We're going to put it in and see where we get. And oh, Susan Jackson got it. I'm sorry, Linda, your bid, and Laurid, I'm sorry, your bids came in just a skosh too late. So Susan Jackson for $33, you are the high bidder, and I look forward to sending this to you. And I'm glad that you are surviving those storms down there. We're definitely hearing something going on outside, but we're not getting it as bad as Fatbird Finds, who are still here in the chat, so that means their power didn't go off. That's good news. And let me write down that Susan Jackson is the winner of this. Next up, I'm going to give you folks a choice of a couple of 1970s jewelry pieces, and one of them in particular is interesting. Well, they're both interesting because they're 70s motifs. And I'm going to hold them up, and they are both going to start at $10 each. Let me get them in focus here. Let me get them in focus here. There, we'll put that in front of our face. There we are. Okay, so the yellow butterfly is one of those enamel pins like they did the flowers that were very popular around 1970. And butterflies and flower power and all of that were very popular. You can tell it's a 1970s piece because it has this Y construction for the safety clasp on the back. And it's enameled. And so this one is, again, $10 each is the opening bid for either one. The one on the red here, and I'm going to show them individually too, this one is of interest to a lot of collectors because this is a scarab pin, and these are various tiger eyes and natural stones that have been carved with scarabs on them. The reason that scarab jewelry, and I'll take it off the red so you can see it by itself too, the reason that the scarab jewelry was so popular in the 1970s was because King Tut's Treasures made a big tour of the United States. I got to see it as a kid. Our school went. In 1977, we went to the Seattle Science Museum, and they had all of the wonderful things. The sarcophagus was amazing. The big gold mask that he was buried in was incredible. And because of that, scarabs and things related, as well as the movie Cleopatra with Liz Taylor in 1964, those two things really kicked off interest in scarab jewelry, things that look like snakes. I think this is a nice piece. It's got 6 different stones. It's got a nice safety catch. And this bid, of course, is for choice. So you get one or the other or both if you are the high bidder. Here's our butterfly again, a very happy yellow. And he has this nice little antenna there. We're very excited to hear that some of the butterflies are out this year. We plant milkweed because we really try to attract the butterflies and help them out. The monarchs need the milkweed to survive, and the populations have really been crashing. So we're trying to do our part, and our neighbor actually finds the babies and raises them, and we get to watch them go through chrysalis and then hatch. It's really neat. So this one is the butterfly. This one is the scarab, and our high bid is Lenny Pie of Worth Dusting Collectibles out in Washington. I'm looking forward to seeing you again when I'm out there. And so we are at $15. And oh, Elsie, you got to go too. How cool. Oh, Pamela, you saw it in Seattle too. That's neat. Well, I'm going to go ahead and call fair warning on this. Elsie is at $17, and she is our current high bidder. I know Elsie likes jewelry, and I like the story that you got to see that too. So we are going once, we are going twice, and we are at bid end. And I'm going to wait to see when it comes in. And oh, Lenny Pie, Worth Dusting Collectibles gets it at the last minute. So it is your choice, either or both. If you'll let us know in the comments if you want the scarab or the butterfly or both at $21 each. But I have a hunch knowing you that I know which one you want. So we will see. Oh, Flojo saw it in New York City. It was a great exhibit. It was really amazing. Oh, hello. Nice to have you here. I'm glad you didn't miss this too. I'm looking forward to seeing you in Spokane. It's neat getting around because I get to meet a lot of you folks. Okay, Lynn took the scarab brooch. Elsie, if you are interested in the butterfly, let us know in the chat. And in the meanwhile, I'm going to write this down and we'll move on to other things because I want to get as much out where you get a chance on it before we get to the point. Elsie would like the butterfly. Well, that worked out just great. So let me write those down. And Elsie is the butterfly at 20 and Lynn at 21 for the scarab. Very good. Well, that's great. So let's see. It's okay. It's about it's slightly after 1/4 past the hour. We can probably keep doing this for about another 35 minutes or so. And then we'll have the giveaway, and then we will, I will have to wrap up because my premiere on my main channel is at 8 o'clock Eastern, and you're all welcome to come join us there and keep up with the chat, and we'll have fun, and I'll be able to chat with you there too. So since we're kind of in the middle of the sale, I wanted to show this piece. I thought about holding this out for when I'm with Fatbird Finds, but it's such a great piece, and I thought, no, you guys deserve some orange wonderfulness too. So I'm going, 3 of your 5 monarchs hatched today. Oh, that's great that you're raising them too. That's really cool. Oh, and you saw it in Memphis. Oh, a couple of you folks saw it in the old pyramid building that's in Memphis. Yeah, oh, that's neat. Okay, so here we go. This is very, very, very orange, and it's got a good story. It is 8.5 inches tall. It is 6 inches wide, and it is starting at $20. $20 is the initial bid. This is probably the highest initial bid we're going to have this evening. Well, there might be one other item, but this is Viking glass. This is Viking Epic. And the reason that you might recognize it as Viking Epic is it has the classic molded round foot that they did. But the thing that's unusual about it is look how it's double layered. I'm going to hold it up where you can see that. It was made using one gather of glass and then another gather of glass sealed around it. So it was very difficult to do. They only show this in their 1966 to 1967 catalog because I suspect that they didn't make money making these because of the extra material and the extra work it took to layer it in this manner. They had to do the underpiece and then they had to pull on the sides of the other pieces to make it raise so that you get this double layered effect. And I think it's a really neat piece, and it's such a hot orange color. And Nikki Moss, it's nice to see you. You're new to this, and I see you with the bid of 30. And Susan Jackson's at 37, and you know, I don't blame you. This is unusual piece of Viking. I get the double layered anytime I see it because I just don't see it very often. And yeah, Jenny, you probably haven't seen it before because it just doesn't come up very often because they only made it for 1 year. I know from collecting Blanco, things only made 1 year tend to be pretty desirable later because they're hard to find. And people who have advanced collections start wanting things they haven't seen a million times before. And this might just be one of them. And I see that we have a couple of folks who are at $50 for this. Magical, well, perhaps so. Definitely bright and fun, and just love the happy orange color. It's just like candy. I think they did such a great color of orange. I've started collecting this back in about 1990. And that was when you could get swung vases, huge ones, for $15 because people would just look at you funny. Why do you want orange? Orange is out of style. And I said, well, I like it. I grew up with it, and I think it's going to come back. And well, it sure has, because a whole lot of people in our age group remember it and recognize it, and a lot of younger people just think it's really cool. This does not glow, to my knowledge. It's possible it has a little cadmium in it. I know some folks get really excited about cadmium glow. Cadmium doesn't glow really strongly. I'm mainly a Vaseline glass guy for the glow, so I didn't check it, but I don't believe that it glows at all. And if it does, it would not be in a major way. They did a Vaseline, although not in this piece, because they weren't doing Vaseline in 66 and 7. But they did do Vaseline glass later, and they made some amazing pieces in that. And I figured this one would be popular. At Jolly Rancher Orange, yes, it is so much like Jolly Rancher. I can taste the orange just looking at this. I get a kick out of that. So this is definitely a really fun, really fabulous piece, and I'm glad you folks are finding it to be the same. There's what it looks like looking down, and you can see the double layering any way you look at it. You can see it when you look from the top as well. And then the bottom doesn't have much color. It kind of goes to a yellow and then a clear for the foot. Even though it's a molded piece, they had to hold on to it with something, and I suspect that they just didn't put the color in the bottom because they really wanted it to be about the vase itself. So we are at $75, and I am going to go ahead and call fair warning. So if you are interested in this piece, this is your moment to shine, because it will be going once, it will be going twice, and it will be sold. We're going to put in bid end, and we will see who the new owner is. And it is Sheila. Well, Sheila, wonderful. Congratulations. Sheila came and met us at the meet and greet with Jocelyn in Pennsylvania, and it was so great to meet you in person. And I saw your great hair color, and this will go really well with it. So that is great fun. I'm really glad that you like that, folks. And I promise those of you who wanted it and didn't get it, if I find another one, I will put it aside for a live sale. So let me make a note of that. All right. Well, since we're on kind of a roll with modernism, and we did some traditional stuff first, I'm going to bring out another piece that has modernist appeal of a different sort. And this one is this box here. This is by the Brush Company, and it is starting out at $10. So $10 is our opening bid, and let me show you a little more closely. It's got this really neat lid, if I don't break it on you, with the gold flecking on it. So this is also going to be from the late 60s, when these were very popular on coffee tables as candy boxes, cigarette boxes, places to put playing cards. The Brush Company didn't tend to do a whole lot of work that said brush, but they did put these big fat numbers in, and that's how we're able to identify it. So, well, thank you, Shelby. I'm glad. I really was just fortunate, because this literally is a haul. This is stuff that I've just gotten over the past couple of weeks, and I just thought I'm just going to bring it out. So it does say USA, and you can see that sort of larger USA impressed mark. That actually has something to do with the identification too. But the main thing, again, is that I don't break it. But the main thing about it is it's just such a neat shape. it's almost architectural in its style. And this is right out of the late 60s. And it's got, I like the ribbing, I like the gold. I just think it is a whole lot of fun. The handle's in good shape, no chips or cracks or damage. It's got this open handle, which is actually smart because you can get your fingers in enough to really lift it and use it easily. No one ever dropped anything hard on it, so it's not chipped or cracked in any way. We have a $10 bid on it now, and I just think that for somebody, this will be a great addition to a modernist interior. Susan Jackson at 15 is our high bidder. And you notice it has these little notches under here. In all likelihood, they probably made other pieces using this, like maybe a big side ashtray with a stand where the little indentations would go over something. And yes, it does have an Asian-inspired look, Cindy. I think that's a pretty good observation. There was a lot of interest in Asian design in architecture in the Northwest, for example, in the late 60s. And so you will see Asian influences in design at that time. I just think this has a really neat look. We have Linda McPhee at $20 as our high bidder. And I think it's rather attractive, and I'm glad you do too. And I am going to call fair warning here because we are getting, well, just because I want to show you as much as I can, and time marches on. So let's call it Snow on Mount Fuji. Okay, I like that. And this Snow on Mount Fuji box is going once. It is going twice. And it is at bid end. And we are going to see the bid end came in, and Linda McPhee for $23. This box is yours, and I thank you very much. So I will make a note of Linda McPhee being the person who gets this. And that is MAC. So $23, and we'll do the shipping. Most of the shipping seems to be parcel post. I haven't been having any trouble with that except for you folks in Alabama, but that was sending from Florida. Hopefully from Kentucky it will be a little bit better. Okay, let's see. Where do we go next? Oh, yes. So I found in a recent video, and a lot of you folks who might be new to this channel may be new because of this video, because a whole lot of people watched it. It already is over 60,000 views. I'm kind of blown away. But it was a fun video because I don't usually go thrifting. I went with my cousin to help him find bookshelves, and we went to a Salvation Army store, and they were just rolling out a cart of new merchandise. Now, one of the pieces that was in it, I'm just going to show you as a tease. I can't sell it yet because there were other pieces that went with it, and they went in another box. So I think this will probably end up in my member video. But one of the penguins they had was this guy and his mate, which is the one I'm looking for. And these are actually by Licio Zanetti, who is a Murano designer. So those were a great find, but there were other really neat ones too. And the one that I am going to show you now is this guy. And this little guy is starting at $10. So $10 is the opening price. This is one of the ones that we got out of the cart. We were very delighted that he didn't get chipped or cracked or broken because they really just sort of dropped him in there. And he's made of a nice porcelain painted bisque, and he is from Japan. He is by a company called Utico, and I'll show you the mark on the bottom. And it says Penguin, just in case you weren't sure what he was. This company doesn't seem to have a whole lot of information about it, and yet the quality is really good. It's hand painted in a way to be rather literal. It's very studied. It's a lightweight ceramic, but it's a very good quality ceramic. And I'm actually surprised that this company doesn't have more scholarship on it. It's very similar in quality to Andrea by Sadek, which is something that's well known. It's actually maybe a little finer quality than Odagiri, which is something that's well known. So, and I see Prairie Stone has a piece by that company. If you have any information about this company, I'd love to know, or if anybody does. And that's how things happen. When I wrote the Treasure Craft book, nobody knew anything about treasure craft, you know, but somebody out there had clues and we were able to write a book. So if somebody has clues about this company, let us know. The size on this is 5 inches and 4 inches across. And I like the fact that the flippers are separate and not just up against the body. That's a sign of a little bit better molding and a little more detail. All of the painting is done by hand, you can tell if you look at it up close. And I like that they even did different detail at the bottom. They obviously studied what real penguins look like. They didn't just make this white and this black and call it good. We have $27 as a high bid and now 28. I think the eyes are really neat in it. You can see the eye there. Whoops, well you could until I got my face in the way. There we go. You can see the level of detail. I just think this is really well done. I was very excited to get this and I'm very excited to share it with you. The texturing of the body to look like the, well, penguins don't exactly have, I guess they have very oily feathers. Is that how that works? I should know. My dad was stationed in Antarctica and helped set up the radio communications in the late 50s down there. And he got to see penguins because he stayed there an entire winter, which I don't know how he did it. Aw, fat birds. I love him too. Well, yes, another cute fat bird. I do think that they're pretty cool. And so we have Deborah Nuttall as our current high bidder at 30. Kathy D's got in a little late, oh, but she's at 32 now. So 32 is our current high bid, and I am going to show you the underside one more time so that you see the label and the mark. And I'm sure they probably did other birds as well, but the penguin just really did something for me. So I'm going to call fair warning at this point. So if anyone is interested in making a higher bid, this is your opportunity, because this bird will soon have flown. He is going once. He's going twice. I guess they don't really fly. He'll swim. And he is sold, and we're going to put in the bid end. And Deborah Natal, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, at $40. You are the purchaser of the wonderful penguin. I'm so happy to get to share that wonderful find and experience with you, and please send your information. I don't think I've sold to you before, so please send your information as it shows there. And let me make a note of this. All right. Well, this is a lot of fun. I don't know whether I'll be able to manage it, but maybe I'll get another sale together for the weekend while I have a chance. Let's see here. Now, this piece was in a video. I did a thrifting video from Bowling Green, Kentucky. We went down there partly because we wanted to see what was happening, because some of the thrift stores there we heard were affected by the same series of tornadoes that hit our town and did a lot of devastation. So, good, Deborah. I'm so glad that I was able to bring it and have it for you. One of the places we went was a really cool consignment store, and I was able to get this 1960s Mexican serape. Some people refer to them as saltillo, like the blankets. And it's a very nice throw. Hopefully you're able to see it all. I can't really see the screen. There we go. I'm peeking around the corner. Hopefully this is coming in where you can see it. The colors are really strong. It's a nice soft cotton, and it hasn't been washed in a way that would cause the colors to run. So that's why I picked it up. And this one is starting at $18 opening bid. It's got all its fringe. So $18 is the opening on this. It's got great color. I like these because they're great. I grew up in a house where my mother would put this on the sideboard and then put, you know, this is the 70s, and there was a lot of brown stuff, a lot of brown stoneware, a lot of basketry. And she would put this under it because it would give a color pop where all of that other stuff would really show on it. And so I think it's a great way to display. And it's just such fun colors, and they're so... you know, you could use this in a boho environment. You could even use it with modernism because it's stripes. And if you, you know, if you had something in the center where you didn't see that design, it just looks like a whole bunch of fun color from the 60s. And so I think it's got a lot going for it. And Texas Lady is in at $18. And so that is our opening bid. And let me measure this for you because I didn't do that before. Vintage Tiny Treasures at $20 is our current high bidder. Let's see, we have, this appears to be 19 inches wide by, and I won't measure the fringe is extra. Okay, so it is 40 inches by 19 inches, so it's actually a rather nice size. It's big enough to do a tabletop. I suppose you could turn it into pillows or something like that if you liked. But it is definitely big enough to be a nice runner on a table, or it could be something to hang on a wall as well. And the fringe is all in good condition. I always look for that. None of it got chewed by a cat or a vacuum cleaner or anything. It doesn't seem to have any stains or holes. And we are at $25 on this piece now. I have been buying these for years because I grew up with one, so I recognized it. I was a dealer in an antique mall in Seattle that unfortunately is no longer there, the Pioneer Square Antique Mall, but we had a specialist in these. She would have priced this about $50, and the big one she was selling for $100 and $150 and $200, and she was getting it. So I do think that there's a demand for these out there, and they're just so fun, and the colors are just really great. And they have stayed nice and vibrant. It's important with these because they're cotton, and this was made in Mexico. We can't say for certain that it's color fast, so don't just throw it in the washer and think that that's a good idea. Lynn is at $30 and is our high bidder. And voila, here we go. That's going to be an easy way to show it, although I think I just made the whole room shake, but now you at least can see it if it was to be worn, which I guess you could do actually. I mean, there you go. It's a shawl, right? So lots of fun with this. Lynn is our current high bidder. Lisa, you're $1 behind her. And we are going to call fair warning on this. Yes, no jumping in the old house. That's right. So this piece is going once. It's going twice, ole. And it is going to sell. We're going to put in the bid end. And our new owner is Lynn at $30. Well, thank you very much. It's a really, really pretty piece. Oh yeah, the Cantha quilts in the video from the video I did on Monday. They really were beautiful. And that gal has such interesting stuff, and she's really knowledgeable. I hadn't been set up across from her at a show before, and she's very nice, and she was really interesting. So that was a lot of fun. Well, thank you, Lynn. I'll get you down on that one. And that is $30. All right. Well, I think that what we'll do, I'm looking at time. We have time probably to sell 3 or 4 more items. So I think what I'll do is I'm going to pick this piece because it's got a great label and it's a good company, and we sold a piece by them earlier, and I think somebody might just enjoy this. I certainly was happy to find this in my travels this last week. This is Red Wing again, and this little piece is going to start at $12. So $12 is your opening bid on the Red Wing pottery piece. It is 6 inches tall, and it is 6 inches from handle to handle. And this one's nice because it still has its original paper label. Nobody washed this off. Let's see, did I see what you said about giveaway? I'm choosing a new keyword. Okay, you'll just have to let me know what that is. So we've got a couple people in at $12. This is the 1940s, early 50s era Red Wing, the Art Deco paper label. Red Wing is also generally really well marked on the bottom. So you can see this is the Red Wing, and it's shape 946. This piece should date to about 1940, about the time that Taylor, who did the New York World's Fair plates, comes to Red Wing and starts really adding a dimension of Art Deco to this particular company's lines. And so you've got a little bit of an Art Deco feel to this, and it's just very steady. This is a little bit more blue than it may show in the light. I'm going to show you the bottom, because the bottom, the way it's showing in my light, is probably closer to the actual color. it sort of washes out and looks a little bit more gray. It is a gray blue, but it is more to the blue than you might be getting. See inside the back there? That's a more true representation of the color. And it's actually in great shape. You can see down inside. I don't think anybody left any muck in this or buried a plant in it for years and years. We have a couple of bids at $25, so that's our current high bid. I think Linda Tankersley is our current leading bidder. And I'll show you the back, because the back, well, gee, it's the same as the front. So if you wanted to sit this in the middle of a shelf or a room, you would actually get the same design from both ways. And one of the nice things is, because it looked the same both ways, they didn't wash the paper tag off. And I just like having the paper tags on old stuff. I mean, in the old days, of course, you would have washed that right off, because who wants to look at the store tag? But, you know, now we value these things for other reasons. Red Wing was the same company that made the shoes. They actually started the pottery company to try to diversify the economy in that little town in Minnesota. We have a high bid of $32, and I am going to call fair warning here, because I think we've got time for maybe one more item after this. So we are going once, we are going twice, and we are going to be at bid end. And we'll see who our high bidder is. And our high bidder on this piece is Ramola. At the last minute came in with $38. And Ramola, this is for you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And let me write that down. So we've got the Red Wing vase at 38. Very good. I think I've got time for one more thing before we do the giveaway and have a little bit of outro stuff. Yes, I thought that was interesting about Red Wing too. Yeah, they a very enterprising town, and it's a town that's still in good shape. I believe it's a big museum where the pottery factory used to be now. I think for fun that the last item I'm going to put up will be, gosh, wish we could do them all. How about we do this one just because I personally really like it, and sometimes it's fun just to show stuff you like. Oh, Lisa, the blanket behind me is for sale. I didn't put it in the show because it's something I've had for a while, and it wasn't appropriate to say it was new because it's not to me. But if you want to email me at theantiquenomad@gmail.com, I'll be glad to give you dimensions and a price on the Afghan behind me here. Here we go. This is the Capri Blue Dots vase. And this one is going to be starting at, let me find my list where that was here. This one is going to start at $12. This one is a very pretty piece, and I love the color. This is from about 1963. So $12 the initial opening bid. And it is a nice 8.5 inches tall, and it is 6 inches wide. So $15 is our first bid from Susan Jackson. I like the Capri Blue color a lot. It would, as I get it up in the light, you'll see the color a little better. It's very bright, it's very happy, it's almost an electric blue. It's the dots are a fun pattern to me. Polka dots were really big in the early 60s, and they were big in glassware. These dots are actually on the inside. If you feel in here, this is where the texture is. It's on the inside rather than the outside. Oh, we may actually end up closing this a little early. I'm hearing the tornado siren, and we know from what happened to us in December what that means. So anyhow, we're going to keep going as long as it settles down. But if it keeps going, well, I might actually be leaving you a minute early here. So severe thunderstorm, not tornado. Okay, good. Well, we'll just keep going then. I'm not worried about a little thunder and lightning because I'm indoors. This Hazel Atlas did this. They did other pieces in the Capri Blue. They also did the Moroccan Amethyst. This was right about the time they and Continental Can Corporation merged, so they got a bunch of new money and they came up with a bunch of new modernist designs. I love this stuff. I have this as drinkware. They made a bunch of glasses in different sizes. One looks like a little mercury capsule, the little cocktail glass. I just love that piece. So I use these for beverage ware, but obviously not this one because this is a vase. So, Jan Grant, hello, welcome, and thank you for your bid. We are at a high bid of $32, and we are, let's see what else I can show you about this. It does not have the Hazel Atlas mark. A lot of times you'll see an H over an A. That's Hazel Atlas. People confuse that with Anchor Hawking. Anchor Hawking had the anchor. And I have to admit, like I said, I just got these things. I did not dust the bottom. So that is not film or residue. That is actually dust that I need to get out of there. So pardon me for my bad presentation. But I just love this color too. I just think it's the greatest thing. And Linda McPhee at $33 is our current high bidder. I am going to call fair warning. And so this piece here, dust does not cost extra, Susan. I promise you, I have lots of dust I can send you for free. So this one is going once. It is going twice. And we are at bid end. I'm going to put it in. And we will see where we hear. I might need a drink after the sirens, yes. Patsy M at $35 got her bid in just in time. And Patsy, this is yours. And thank you very much. I am glad to bring that to you. And let me just write that down. Well, that was a lot of fun, and I definitely do have some more things, so I'll try to put another live sale together soon for you folks. I really enjoy bringing them to you when I get a chance. I'm running around in the real world between shows and appearances and things a lot, so when I have a chance to slow down, I really like you folks to have a chance to get some of the goodies that I'm finding when I'm out there doing what I'm doing. So, and yes, I am really looking forward to seeing you, Laura, on Friday, and call me because we should talk sometime about what we're going to do. Mainly, it's all up to you, but I just want to be prepared. Let me see. Oh, thank you, Sandy. I love talking about the stuff. So, and to me, that's what it's about. I really enjoy all you folks. And what brings us together is that we all have a love of this old stuff. So it's fun to share information about all that. Now, it is time for our giveaway. If you just ordered the Treasure Craft book from me and haven't gotten it yet, I will just refund your order, and that will be, and we'll send you the book. But if you are someone who does not have this, I wrote the Treasure Craft Pottery and Pottery Craft Stoneware book a while ago. It's by Schiffer Publishing, and it talks all about all their cool, crazy things they did, the stuff they made in Hawaii, their rather sophisticated and modernist lines that they did for Pottery Craft Stoneware. Robert Maxwell was involved with some of those designs. It talks about the stuff that they did for the Disney company and some of the other characters like cookie jars and tea sets that they made at the time. And it also talks about their very early things, the elves and pixies and sprites and gnomes that they made. And I will sign it. So this is our giveaway tonight. And I need to, very good. Okay, if you're interested in winning the book, put Treasure Craft Run Together. That's what Zeno said. Now, Zeno has a bot that is supposed to randomly pick one of you who puts in Treasure Craft. So I'm leaving it to him to, hey, Rosie, good to see you. Gritty Gret, a whole bunch of people I haven't gotten to say hi to are here. Carol Bloom, Sandy Stroon, whole bunch of you. And so put in Treasure Craft, and then the bot is supposed to pick one of you at random. If that doesn't work, then we're going to try something else. That's why I wanted to do this a little early, just so that we have a chance. Oh, you ordered one. Oh, that's great. Well, thank you, Texas Lady. And if you just ordered yours, they are supposed to arrive at the post office. I had so many orders, I ran out of what I had on hand. And Schiffer Publishing kindly sent me another box, so it should be here tomorrow. Should have been here yesterday, actually, but the post is slow these days. And so let's see. Ms. Taken, I love that name. Udalali, it's great to have you in here. Berkeley Girl, yes, I'm the other Katie. That's great. And yeah, just run them together. That's just the way that, oh, and thank you, Texas Lady, for being so kind. I promise you, I've got all the stuff ready to wrap them, and I've just been waiting here with bated breath for them to arrive. So I don't know exactly We're letting everyone get in, and then it's just going to be, and just put your name in once. If you put in Treasure Craft right, it'll pick you. You're not going to get extra help from the bot by having your name in 20 times, because that's not how it works. When is Xenomorph starting a channel? Well, I like having him guest on this channel, and he's so helpful with the tech behind the scenes. I'm afraid if he ever went off on his own, I wouldn't know what to do. So hopefully he's just going to stick with this. And oh yes, winking at the bot, that does help actually, Gret. That's a very good idea. All of you should wink at the bot if you can find him. And we've got a few more folks putting in their names, and then we're going to pick one very shortly here. I don't know exactly when that happens because I'm not in control of this part, which is great. So I hope all of you had fun. I sure did. And I'm looking forward to when this is over, we're going to go to an outro. And we'll have about 4.5 or 5 minutes where you're welcome to stay in the chat. I'm going to come into the chat for a few minutes. So if you want to chat, that's great. And then I will be quickly flipping over to my main channel, the Antique Nomad, where we will have our premiere of our regular Wednesday premiere video. And I think it's a fun one that you'll enjoy. So let's see. I'm going to do it now because the signal is, I believe that word is shifty. We're going to go with shifty. And I believe that is true. So, all right, here we go. Nightbot says, Penny Keeling has won the giveaway. Well, very good, Penny. You send the information just like you see, just as if you won a bid. And I will make a note that this is for you. And in the meantime, I just want to thank all of you so much for joining me. This was a lot of fun. I really do enjoy these, and I hope to do more in the very near future. And I've made a note that that is the winner of the book. So thank you all so much. Really appreciate you being here. I hope you had fun. I hope I'll see you in a few minutes in the other chat. And I'm going to switch this over because we are going to go to our outro, but I'll be here in the chat for the next few minutes. Thanks for everything, and bye-bye, everybody.